Hey guys, in this one, we're going to talk about mental health and medical wait times in Sweden. That's coming up. First of all, I've been here in Sweden for 5 years. I'm very happy with my experience in the country. I feel pretty much Swedish at this point, and my girlfriend's Swedish. And I came here without a girlfriend, so I just really wanted to take in the culture. That being said, though, I think that mental health issues is an issue in the European Union in general, and also the United States. And I just think it's one of those things where you don't see it on the outside. You don't see someone having a broken arm, for example. When someone's sad or has anxiety or suffers with something, it doesn't always show on the outside. Someone can look perfectly healthy, but then be hurting on the inside. Here in Sweden recently, we just had the loss of Avicii, and I'm not going to speculate on that any more than that, but just explain that I think it's something that's kind of in the center here. The last time it was something big like this, I think it was Robin Williams for me. So I want to be as transparent and honest as I can be with you guys and be more myself. So I'm just going to share here now that I have anxiety. And a couple years ago, I wanted to speak to someone about anxiety. You know, coming to another country by yourself, completely alone. I've always had anxiety, but it definitely, comes in waves. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. And I decided that I wanted to have better strategies. I wanted to talk to somebody else and get some advice, a counselor on how to deal with things better so I could be healthier. Now, I can tell you from my standpoint as someone that's in that situation, once you decide, at least I know for myself, once you decide that you want help, it's a big step. For me, it was a huge step to just want to go talk to someone, to call the phone and say, hey, I have anxiety, I think, and I want to talk to somebody and I want to make it better. For me anyways, was a huge decision, especially calling somebody, and my Swedish wasn't as good. I didn't understand how everything worked. Now, in my experience, it took me between 3.5 to 4 months until I was able to get an appointment to speak to somebody. I've done a previous video about how awesome the healthcare is in Sweden, and I do really think that. But I've been watching the news recently and seeing a lot of stories, especially about teenagers needing to speak to somebody. So I'm going to speak today not about being critical, but just to talk about the issue through my experience. And I think that I remember at that point, I was dealing with anxiety and I was feeling a little bit down. I was kind of in a rough patch. And by the time I got the phone call, I kind of felt better, but I decided to go anyways. My whole experience as far as the counselor stuff was awesome. It was a fantastic experience. It was very, very helpful. But the worrying part for me is that it took so long for me to get help. And luckily I was able to find the strategies. For example, I was running, I was eating healthy, I was reading self-help books, and I was trying to learn more about myself to be better. But however, unfortunately, it took such a long time. And I started to think to myself more and more, what if I was in worse shape? Or what if I was someone that could possibly, be in a not safe situation for my own self? And so I think about that more and more. So I want to bring that out there, and in order to be transparent to you guys, to the audience, I don't know what the answer is. I'm sure that the reason is there's maybe a lot of people that need help. I know that kind of anxiety, depression, a lot of these issues, we have more and more of it, and the human population has more of it, and it might just be due to the fact that it's a little bit there's so much information coming at us. It's just a different kind of world we live in right now. But I wanted to explain my experience. I think that maybe new people need to work in those fields, but my concern is I think it's a little too long. I mean, for anybody, we know now there's a lot of new people that came to Sweden, and I think that when you need help, you need someone to talk to. I don't know the right way. I really don't have the answer, unfortunately, but I think that the system could be a little bit better. My concern definitely is with teenagers that need to speak to someone as well, that need to go, that they can get the help they need quicker and faster. Obviously, I think that, children are the most important. But the big thing I want to stress across to you is if you're somebody that feels a little bit down, if you're feeling sad, anything that ever happens, please talk to somebody. I would like it if someone could put in the comments here below, and I can highlight that comment as far as the best place to call or reach somebody. a helpline that you need to go to if you need to talk to someone in that exact moment, maybe for depression or anxiety. Feel free to put those numbers down. For Sweden, and I'd like to put it down for the US too, so we can have both here to be helpful for each other. I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to not feel okay, and we need to be more accepting of it. We need to understand if someone else doesn't feel okay to say something. If you think someone's not feeling okay, talk to them about it. Be more open and realize that sometimes if someone tells you, this is why I think the most important thing, if someone says, I would like to speak to somebody, I would like some help, realize like what a big step that is for a lot of people, just to say, hey, I have anxiety, or hey, I'm feeling a little bit down today, or I feel a little bit depressed. Because I think that we need more of that as a society, to talk about those things and to realize that it's okay to feel that way. I think that Sweden is a great country. I think that we could do a better job with it. And I don't know if it's an efficiency thing, but I don't think someone should have to wait between 3 and 4 months to speak to someone, especially if they don't feel well. When you can go to it, think about it, like if you're sick and you have a stomach ache or something, you can go to a doctor then. So maybe this is a position that we need to have more people apply for the jobs. Maybe it's just an overall they're full and there's not much else we can do. But I think it's worth talking about it. So I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys here today. And for me, this is kind of a big step because I'm just being honest with myself, but I actually just feel better since I said it. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button. If you like this video, and I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Welcome to my channel where I talk about Sweden, but I talk about myself and this life in general. See you guys in the next video. Take care.